So it's a great honor and privilege for me to be in front of you today. I'm very sorry it's virtual, and I wish I could be there in person. So you'll have to forgive us for that. But I wanted to start off by saying that the themes that we're going to be exploring today have been taken from direct interactions with Swami, and I've chosen three key themes that I would like to focus on, during the next 30 minutes. So forgive me if I'm going to go fast, but there's a lot to cover. And these three themes are self-confidence, faith, and surrender. Now, if we have these qualities, naturally, others will be drawn towards us because they'll want to know what is that divinity that resides in you? What makes you different? In order to grow and get stronger, Swami also likes to test us along the way. But please do not worry. I will also be giving you some practical, tried and tested tips and hacks given by Bhagavan himself to help us along the way. Now, time for a story. Once in an interview, Swami narrated a beautiful story. Swami said there was this forest in which there was a huge banyan tree. This banyan tree had mighty branches. Each of those branches further divided into smaller branches. And there, on one of the twigs, sat a little bird, singing away happily. Then came a storm. It started with lightning, thunder, heavy rain. The storm grew intense, severe, and the breeze turned into wind. The wind turned into gale. The gale turned into a hurricane, and soon the whole forest was shivering and shaking at the impact of the storm. The banyan tree began to shake, and it was shaken so badly by the storm that the roots too began to uproot themselves. Swami said, in an instant, the twig which was connected to the branch began to shake, and it suddenly broke and came crashing down. Swami asked the devotees, do you know what happened to the little bird? There was silence in the interview room. Swami continued, nothing happened to the bird because the moment the branch came crashing down, the little bird flew away. Now, this may seem to be an anticlimax to the story, but then Swami continued, if you depend on the world for your safety, then when any storm comes, you will also come crashing down. But instead, if like that little bird, you depend on your own wings, then no storm can ever touch you because you will always soar high. So what are those two wings? Swami lovingly asked everyone. Those are the wings of faith and self-confidence. This is a very important point because faith and self-confidence are like two sides of the coin. One cannot exist without the other. It is simply not possible. You cannot have faith without self-confidence, and you cannot have self-confidence without faith. What is faith? Faith is confidence in the Lord who is outside of me. What is self-confidence? It is faith in the Lord who is within me. Have you ever wondered how you can tell how strong your faith or self-confidence is? Swami goes on to talk about a dashboard. If you want to know how fast you're driving, we use a dashboard. If you want to see how much battery or data you have left on your mobile phones, we use a dashboard. So too, to measure how strong our faith or self-confidence is, there is also a dashboard. Swami says that this dashboard is called Sharanagati, or loosely translated as surrender. Swami gives us a further analogy. Swami asked a devotee, have you ever driven a car? The devotee replied, yes, Swami. How many gears does the car have? Between 5 and 6 gears and a reverse gear, Swami. Swami then asked, does the car run well in the first gear? Yes, Swami, it runs well in the first gear. What about the second gear? Yes, Swami. Any problems in the third gear? Swami asked. No, Swami. Any problem in the fourth gear? No, Swami. Then where is the problem? Asked Swami. There is no problem. The car runs well in every gear, the devotee said. Swami then said, no, there is a problem. And the problem comes when you shift from first gear to second gear, or when you shift from second gear to third gear, or from third gear to fourth gear. Ah, yes, Swami, replied the devotee. In fact, when you are shifting the gears, there can be a chance of the engine cutting out or stalling or making a noise, which is why, Swami, we press the clutch. When we hold down the clutch, there is no problem. When we change the gear from first to second, or second to third, or third to fourth, the clutch is a very, very important part. Swami then gave a very beautiful insight. Swami said, life also has gears. Just like in the car, you have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, front, back. Life also has gears. What are those gears? Swami asked. Happiness, sorrow, happiness and sorrow. In happiness, there is no problem. In sorrow, there is no problem. But when you shift from happiness to sorrow, or from sorrow to happiness, there is a problem. Swami continued to expand on this. See, if we look into our own lives, when we are in a happy state of mind, when everything is going fine, suddenly, when we are shifted to sorrow, then things go bad. That is when we get frustrated, we get irritated, we get angry, we get depressed, and we lose our faith and we lose self-confidence. All these problems come. Also, when we shift from sorrow to happiness, that too has its own kind of problems. When we are in a bad and hopeless state, and suddenly something unexpected or good happens, and everything changes, we feel lucky, we feel blessed, we feel full of joy, and we forget the Lord. So what is the clutch? Swami goes on to tell us that the clutch you press is Sharanagati, or surrender. Swami continued to elaborate on surrender. In fact, he has given us a mantra. Just like we chant Om Shri Sai Ram, Om Namah Shivaya, and so on, Swami has given us an 8-syllable mantra to help us with surrender. This mantra that Swami wants us to chant during every situation, and devotees, please excuse my Telugu, always tell yourself, Idi na manchi kosame. Idi na manchi kosame. In English, if you want to translate it, it translates as, all that happens is for my good alone. All that happens is for my good alone. You know, when we shift from sorrow to happiness, when we are feeling overexcited, when we are feeling on top of the world, when we are feeling that I can do anything, at that time, let us just close our eyes and say, Idi na mancha kosame. All that happens is for my good alone. Meaning that it is not because of me that this has happened. It is because there is a powerful, loving Lord who ensures that all that happens is for my good alone. Since this is good for me, it has happened. It is nothing about my special ability. There is nothing for me to feel proud about, for me to feel egotistic about. Because it is good for me, it has happened. So I will accept it as God's prashadam, God's offering. The same also works in the reverse. When we go from happiness to sorrow, we become depressed, irritated, angry, and we feel low. There is no need to feel low. We should think there is nothing wrong with me. I am not bad, I am not evil. Whatever happens is for my own good. That is why it has happened. An example. When the mother or father takes their child for a vaccine, the child gets an injection and experiences immense pain. But if the child had the wisdom, it would know that this injection and the pain is ultimately for their good. So going forward, Whenever you go through hardships or obstacles, remember those words. Idi na manchi kosame. All that happens is for my good alone. So I will accept it as God's prashadam. But for it to work, we must have full and absolute faith in Swami and in ourselves. We should have faith, like with any mantra, it should be chanted with faith multiple times during any situation or circumstance that life throws at you, be it happy or sad. And then we will see automatically equanimity coming to us. We will be able to cope with any situation in life with the utmost faith, self-confidence, and surrender. But faith is very important. Faith should be like a pendulum. Swami once said to a devotee going through some really hard difficulties that took 2 years to resolve that their faith was like a pendulum. And with his hand, he did like this. He said, when the pendulum goes left and right like this, time keeps moving in the clock. If you stop the pendulum, then time will stop too. Swami said, faith must be like a static, motionless pendulum. If it is a moving pendulum, moving left and right, the problem will continue. Will I get the job? Won't I get the job? Will I get married? Won't I get married? Will I get a promotion? Won't I get the promotion? And so on. So Swami said, your faith must be like a stopped pendulum. Just stop it. Swami went on to say, when you have faith like that, time will wait for you because your faith was oscillating back and forth so much, you lost so much time. You must have deep faith in Bhagavan's words, and time will wait for you, and you will not lose time then. The devotee also needed a lot of money to start the project that Swami wanted him to start. Swami told him, you do not need a lot of money. You just need a lot of faith and devotion. Swami said, if faith and devotion are there, money will come. Trust me. Trusting Swami is key. Often, we trust others more than we trust ourselves. We all see Swami as God, and the mistake we often make is putting him on a pedestal far, far away from us. Swami says, if you see me as God, as one pedestal higher than yourself, you can never cover the distance between you and me. Now a question. What if I have little or no faith in Swami? Ravi Kumar once told us a beautiful story about a student who went up to Swami and said, Swami, my faith in you is reducing. Now, most people would not think of saying such a thing to Swami, even in front of his photo. But this student had the guts to tell Swami that. Swami did not flinch. In fact, Swami said, do you have love for me in your heart? Absolutely, Swami, said the student. Then keep that love. Faith will grow automatically. If we have total love for him all the time, then faith will follow and grow stronger inside of us. So now, I've got a question for all of you. How many of us pray regularly? I'm not talking about going to bhajans or meditation, but praying regularly to Swami. Have you ever wondered if our prayers reach Swami every time and whether he responds to them in a timely manner? It's a difficult question. When I asked this question some time ago, some devotees said, not every time. Others said, most of the time. And some said, during the hardest and most difficult times, Swami just disappears. Have you ever wondered the reason for this? Once in an interview, Swami asked the group, why don't your prayers reach me? Swami gave a beautiful example. He said, if you write a letter to Bhagavan, you may write, my most beloved Bhagavan, My humble pranams to you, Swami. This is my problem, Swami. I want to relate it to you. Please fulfill it. Please solve it. You write the letter, then put it in an envelope and seal that envelope. On it, you write to Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, Prashanti Nilayam P.O., Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh, pin code 515134, and you mail it. Then Swami asked, would this letter reach me? Everyone shook their heads in agreement. Yes, Swami, the letter would definitely reach you because the address is correct, the sender's name is written on there, and the letter is inside. But Swami said, no, the letter is not going to reach me. Everyone was aghast at this. He continued to say, the most important ingredient is not placed on that envelope. What is it? Swami asked. That 5 rupee postage stamp, he said quickly. If you do not put a postage stamp on that letter, it will not come to me. Similarly, why do your prayers not reach me every time? Continued Swami. Because you do not put the postage stamp on those prayers. Swami continued, what is the postage stamp? The devotee thought. Swami said, the postage stamp is personal sadhana. You must do your personal sadhana, whether you attend bhajans regularly or do a few minutes of meditation every day or choose one of the 9 forms of devotion that you can see on this slide. If you do not do any personal sadhana, you will not get what I have come to give you. What have I come to give you? Swami asked. Someone shouted, Moksha, Swami. Swami said, you keep quiet. What will you gain if you do prayers and meditation? Swami, we will gain you. But Swami was not satisfied with that answer. What is the direct ingredient you get when you do prayers? When you do bhajans, when you do meditation or follow one of the 9 forms of devotion, Swami said, what you get is Chit Shuddhi, purity of mind. Only then will your prayers reach me like an arrow, like a bolt of lightning. Nobody can stop it. And I too have no reason why I should not respond to it. So you must never miss out on your personal sadhana, come what may. This is the direct hotline which Bhagavan has given to us. Try it for 100 days and you see the results. Then Swami continued, he said, you know, I have such a great following in Prashanti and around India and throughout the world. But some of those devotees, you know, they are like beggars. Swami, they're like beggars, one devotee said. Yes, they're all like beggars. Swami said, they are constantly asking me for worldly things only. Somebody asked me for money. Somebody asked me for posting or a job. Somebody asked me for a car. Another person asked me for a bungalow. Another person asked me for getting married. One who's married then has a child. One who has a child only wants a boy. When he has a boy, then he wants me to perform their marriage. Then he has this problem. Then he has that problem. Then one person has 1 bungalow. Then he wants 2 bungalows. If he has a scooter, he wants a car. If he has a car, he wants a bigger car, and so on. There is no dearth of people who come to me and keep on asking me only of worldly things. So what should we ask for in our prayers, Swami? Swami grew serious and said, as my devotees, you must never ask anything from God. In your prayers, you should just ask for me and me alone, just me. Remember, in my hands, I have a car, bungalow, jobs, money, married, children. Everything is in my hand. When you ask for Bhagavan Baba, you get everything. Swami gave a beautiful example. During the Mahabharata war, Lord Krishna had decided which side he would support. He had to decide, Pandavas or Kauravas. One day, both Arjuna and Duryodhan approached him. Lord Krishna was sleeping. Duryodhan was the first to come and had to wait as the Lord was having his afternoon siesta. Arjuna came later and sat near the Lord's feet. When Lord Krishna got up, the first person he saw was Arjuna. Lord Krishna asked, "Oh, Parth, when did you come?" Duryodhan cleared his throat. "Lord, I am also here." Lord Krishna then asked Arjuna and Duryodhan to explain the purpose for coming. Both wanted to know on whose side Lord Krishna would fight in the Mahabharata war. Lord Krishna replied that this was a dharma yudh, war of righteousness, and that he would not take up any side. So then he said, "You can either have my entire army. I will not take part. I will be on the other side." He asked them to pick. Duryodhan, having arrived first, thought, well, if Lord Krishna isn't going to fight, there was no use of having him on their side. So he chose Lord Krishna's entire army and all his resources. Arjuna, on the other hand, fell at Lord Krishna's feet and said, with love, that he only wanted Lord Krishna by his side, as having him was enough for victory. And we all know how that ended with the Pandavas winning the war. When you have God on your side, you can accomplish anything. So I implore each and every one of you to develop this habit of personal sadhana and do not miss out on this habit of praying regularly to our Bhagavan. You will develop faith, self-confidence, and become worthy instruments of Swami to take his mission forward. You will become like lighthouses, giving safe passage to all those who come to you and those Swami sends your way. Jai Sai Ram.